volcanic ash disrupting plans to go to Melbourne?
Concerned about when we're going over, and more importantly, or as important, is when we get back. So it's twofold at this stage, but I know the club and the AFL are liaising at the moment to try to work through that situation. We've got some plans put in place if we can't get a plane, submarine, camel train, hitchhiking. Yeah, so we've got a few options there, haven't we?
With Waffle State game this week, Michael Barlow, does that make it a stronger case for him to come back?
Michael will be playing this week. So he's playing in the team after 12 months, and I told him yesterday to brace himself and get ready for playing at the MCG, and to welcome him back into the team, and all the hard work's paid off.
What was his reaction?
I mean, it was via phone, so just the tone in his voice, and it's a game that he's indebted to. Gives an opportunity for his family to go to the MCG. For that matter, all our supporters in Melbourne. He's just excited to be back in the team, and hopefully he can take off from where he left it.
Will he be a sub?
Probably not. No. We'll just play him and let him play and see how far he can go.
He must have come up pretty well after that Waffle game, though.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. So I'm pleased for him, and everyone is. And we announced it to the players this morning, and the applause was deafening.
Is that going to give you the lift that you need with Valentine and Mundy missing?
Yeah, I think the resolve amongst the group has been terrific, on the back of losing some of our real quality players. And that shouldn't go unnoticed. So, we go to the MCG again to make sure that we can rectify some situations that we've had over previous experiences there. So, don't underestimate us on the road, that's what I would say, because we've had 5 games and we've won 3, and the 2 that we lost was just the last quarter. And I think we got a good handle of how to handle that situation now.
What do you put the last quarters down to?
On the road?
Yeah.
Just probably some inexperience and lack of concentration at times. Yeah.
Mundy and Ballantyne out, Barlow and someone else in.
Yeah.
Likely to be the only 2 changes, do you think?
Just depends. We're playing 3 tools at the moment too, and Kepler copped a heavy knock, so we'll just see how he comes up. There's some guys that performed really well at Waffle level. Mellington didn't play; he was the carryover player. Reese played well. And some of the players that we inducted in the side, Hinkley and Zach Clark and Crichton, they just seem to be, holding their own at the moment, so it's good.
Crichton, that's just about his best game, do you think?
Yeah, a lot better. I think just once, it's a kid that needs a lot of work, but he's got a real good temperament about the way he goes about it. He never always shows this competitive edge that he wants to take the opposition on, whatever way that is. And he's been in the back line for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So we need him to make sure he can hold down that position, particularly against Melbourne, who've got some good small forwards.
Valentine is such a unique player. How do you replace him?
Well, reality is that you probably don't. But we said the same thing about Sandilands, and Mundy's out of the side, and it's okay. The next opportunity, and we've been rolling different players through our midfield and seen some really good results. Duffield and Crowley's been there a lot more. Tendai a little bit in part there on the weekend. Stephen Hill a lot more in there, and Fife and these sort of guys. As I said, and Barlow probably adds to it. So, we'll just play the game and we'll see what happens. And Melbourne's obviously coming on the back of a disappointing performance, so we've got to deal with that as well.
And what role do you look to use Barlow in? Will it be what he played last year, or do you have to ease him back?
In this game, you can't carry players. You put them in positions where where they're going to have an influence.
Just back on the travel, has there been any serious discussion regarding options if there are no flights?
As in playing or not playing, or not as far as I've heard yet. But obviously that the Ashes coming over Perth, which is a concern. So perhaps we might get out Melbourne to. We might play when the West Coast play. What day? Sunday. Well, we might play Saturday Melbourne over here and see if they can get here in some way, shape or form. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it?
What would that do to their travel though, Mark?
We might sell the game to Melbourne as an example.
Like just with Barlow, it's almost 12 months to the day. Is that right? And is that was that originally
exactly
where the medical, where they were just about pinpointing he'd come?
It's not far away. I mean, it's, within striking distance of what we were talking about.
It was around 13. Around 13?
14.
14.
14. So we've got around 13. That must be very close. About where the medical staff thought it would be.
Yep.
So it's all gone to plan, all basically.
Yeah, it has. Basically, ideally, if we had probably more numbers, he might have played another game. But seeing how well he played last week, that forced the issue. Even before money had been put out.
Mate, is there a chance in the long term, or even in the short to mid term, you'll benefit from the injuries that you've had? At times early in the year, you expressed concern that too much was being left to too few.
Yep.
It appears there's a much better share of the load in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
It's getting there. It's getting somewhere near that. As I said, the interesting part about our team at the moment is we're not necessarily introducing first-year players. We're introducing third to fourth-year players. And that's been a lot different over the last couple of years, where we've had 8, 9 first-year players in our team in any one given time, and now it's quite different. So I guess the guys that we're putting in a team understand that 3 years of development have gone into this. It's a big chance and opportunity for them, and they're making sure that they're putting their hand up and they want to be a regular part of the team.
Mark, have you still been able to put your hands on why sometimes they're on, like Port Adelaide and against Essendon, and then other times they're off, and even within games, obviously within Hawthorn games?
So our guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we had a pretty disappointing game against St Kilda a couple of weeks ago, but apart from that, we've been in games for long periods of time. West Coast, we even fought back after half time. So look, I think we've been under the regime that we've been dealt. I think we've done a really good job, but that's not to mean that we're satisfied with it.
Mark, hypothetically, if the AFL offered you 2 points for Sunday's game, would you take it?
There's a lot of 2 points already in the system that we're aware of, and probably not. We'd like to play the game and back ourselves in.
How do you feel about it being played further down the track, like having fixture alterations, working it in sometime?
Well, I guess Ballantyne would like it, but he's going to miss a week or two with a hamstring, so it just takes away a game. So I think we'll get through it. I think you'll find all the games will go ahead.
If it didn't, that would be perfect. Your side would be perfect for it at the moment with all the injuries you got. You'd miss a week, and you'd be able to play it later down the track when you got a few of those guys back.
Possibly, but we've got one in 3 weeks' time, so yeah. Maybe a player or two, but not necessarily the team. Always when you play like we did on the weekend, you like to play the following week to make sure there's the on-flow of that performance.
Mark, Ballantyne's hamstring, general rule of thumb is minimum 3 weeks?
No, so it's not a significant one, it's a minor one. So
is it just tightness? Because he missed 1 week and now 2 weeks. Unusual for a hamstring to
yeah,
those sort of...
We were actually talking about bringing him back on the ground, but we decided because of the scoreboard that we would leave him off the ground to make sure that we didn't make it a 3 or 4 week injury.
Mark, do you expect Jamar to play this week for the D's?
I read Dean's comments, 50-50, that's all you can be gauged, but we'll probably have our spies over there just making sure that to see whether they do or not. So that's up to them.
Mark, just Barlow's recovery, just how you've seen the whole thing as a coach, and saying comparing it to a knee, is it as hard or even harder than a knee reconstruction to get back from, or just?
Probably not, because he's had a plate in there, so it's. And I can't. I can't really say really, but I would have thought long term he'd be better off with a break rather than a knee reconstruction, if you know what I mean. So, as I said, I don't think it's going to affect this guy, no matter what sort of injury it was. and I would be expecting that he'll put in a very forward performance, and Melbourne would have to look at what he does. That's what I hope happens, and he can contribute to the team. And what people don't understand is Barlow gives a very good temperament to the team when he's out there, and very good instructor and reader of the situation. So that counts for a lot other than injury.
Sorry, Pad was doing some sort of sprint work away from the group just towards the end of that session. Is there any trouble there that he's sort of working through sort of muscular things with takeoffs and stuff?
No, just an individual program for him. Yep.